Okay, so now we start the session 1, and I ask Sanji to take over and moderate this session.
So, good morning, Excellencies, Honourable Mayors, partners and colleagues. Welcome to Session 1 on Digital Connectivity for Preparedness and Resilience here at the International Mayors Forum. It is really my pleasure to moderate this very important topic on how digital connectivity can make cities more resilient, accelerate SDG localization, and ensure that no one is left behind. We're seeing that across many cities, there's a convergence of a number of crises, including the fact that cities are dealing with the challenges of climate change, disasters, pandemics, and economic shocks. And in this context, digital connectivity is really emerging as an essential infrastructure that enables governments and communities to access real-time information, coordinate responses, and safeguard lives and livelihoods. But at the same time, we're also seeing that there's still a number of gaps that persist. This includes barriers of affordability, accessibility, digital literacy that continue to leave many people behind, especially the most vulnerable, including women and girls. And what we're seeing is that it's really important that we start thinking about how we can bridge these divides to ensure that we are really strengthening resilience, inclusion, and trust in public services. Overall, this session aims to do a couple of things. So the first thing, it aims to highlight how digital connectivity enhances preparedness and resilience. Secondly, to identify practical and targeted solutions that build resilience, improve sustainability, build the capacity of municipalities or cities, and also start to address the digital divide. We'll also discuss investment strategies and the value of partnerships that link local innovation with national strategies and frameworks. Today, we really have a great lineup of speakers, and we will hear experiences from Japan, Cambodia, and the Republic of Korea, and we will hear valuable lessons on inclusive, adaptive digital connectivity and infrastructure. And I encourage all of you, as you listen today, to really listen actively, to think critically, and reflect how what is shared today can be applied in your own cities. And with that, we are ready to start. And it is my honor to invite Honorable Mr. Tsutomu Iwata, who is the town mayor of Susami town in Japan, to share how his town is leveraging digital connectivity to build resilience and inclusive communities. Over to you, Mayor.
Konnichiwa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. I am the mayor of Susami town from the Wakayama prefecture. Nice to meet you, everyone. First of all, it's a great honor for us, a small city, to be invited to this important forum. I'd like to thank the organizer. I am 77 years old. So when I was invited, I was so excited, like a boy. And it's a great pleasure for me to meet you all and listening to your talks. with which we can compare what we do. And also, I hope that what we're doing, that I am going to share, is something valuable to you as well. Susami town is a very typical rural town. In 1947, population was 12,000. That's now down to 3,400. And we have elderly population. So those who are age 65 years old older account for 50% of our population. So I am a mayor for such a city, so we face a lot of issues. First of all, how we are going to defend the dignity of each citizen in living their daily lives. So Susami town has a history of 3,000 years. Since the late phase of the German period, there was a settlement. So there are such ancient ruins. So our ancestors have lived in Susami town in these areas for such a long period of time. Now, climate change and other global issues. In such context, a small town like ours face the new types of challenges. When I became a mayor in 2011, there was the Great East Japan earthquake, and around that time, the Nankai Trough Great Earthquake was said to be occurring within 30 years in 80% of probability. That was announced by the Japanese government. Around that time, the Susami town, around that time, the tsunami of the 21-meter is expected to happen and hit our city. So with these simulations, we may lose 1,800 people and 2,000 people will be dislocated in this simulation. But of course, it's not just about disaster risk reduction, but also education, welfare, and healthcare. Through those services, we have to protect the lives of citizens. So when it comes to the properties, once you lose your property, you can get it back. But once you lose your life, you can't get it back. Therefore, as a fundamental administrative body, as a mayor, I always think about how we are going to protect our citizens. In small city like Sami, there are a lot of shortages. Shortage of information, shortage of technology, engineers. So creating nothing from something, that is something we are tackling with. So in order to do so, we must bring in powers of national government and prefecture government and private sector. So in this context, in 2021, when the Super City project was announced by the government, we decided to join this program. With this initiative, that we hope that we can bring in information technology to Susami City. But although we wanted to be a part of this project, but our proposal was denied. However, in the same year, we established a Smart City Consortium at my city, my town. That is explained in this slide. As I said, we try to bring in private sector, their capacity to lead to the next generation. pass down Susami town to next generation. So that is our goal. So Super City although we couldn't join Super City, our project, however, in 2011 that we established, 2021, we established Susami Smart City Promotion Consortium. So together with SoftBank and Susami Town Tourism Association and Ofo Corporation, Susami Town Hall, Nankai Shirahama Airport, Bell Delta Inc., Mirab Inc., and Monet Technologies. So those are our partners. And also Wakayama Prefecture support us, giving us advice in these new endeavors. So our town hall, we have 130 employees at our town hall, covering 4,500 citizens. However, my biggest concern, when the major disaster hit our town, all the employees of the town hall will be also affected. Therefore, we do not have enough manpower or resources. Therefore, it is very important for us to collect accurate information when the disaster hit. So in this endeavor, we want to bring in technology, ICT, from private sectors so that we are able to detect accurate information when a disaster hit our town so that we can be able to respond to such disaster in an efficient way. This shows the central areas of Susami town, the blue colored area. So this, or I should say green areas, is unexpected flooded areas when the tsunami hit this area. So the town hall is expected to be flooded with a 6 meters tsunami. Therefore, we have moved town hall and other functions to a higher ground so that we are able to keep our function when the tsunami hit these areas. So we collaborate with our partners in the consortium. So now we have the logistic demonstrations ongoing, and we have the drone-based logistic. So we're testing such new technologies. When the disaster hit these areas, we can rely on land route, sea route. Therefore, we must be able to gather information from the air by drones to understand where is the hardest hit areas where we should send our rescue team, for example. Therefore, disaster responses must be based on accurate information so that we rely on drone technology. But in the beginning, we thought whether this is possible or not. So whether we can fly drones from the same town, I actually wonder. Therefore, some kind of the remote control will be necessary because once this town is hit by the tsunami, you can't really operate drone from the Susami town anymore. That's why we decided to establish remote control of drones. This is one of the result of testing from the Chiba prefecture. We demonstrated that we can operate drones over our town. from 2021 to 2025, we have the subsidies from the MLIT of Japan. So we tested this technology. So for example, this one. Here we created a 3D map. So this shows the geography of a Sami town. So it shows the landforms of Sami town. Based on that, we decided on the flying route of drones. And we tested this already. We tested about 200 times. On that day, there was an tsunami focus from the Kamchatka Peninsula. Around that time, that we actually flew drones to detect if there are any people who are left in the community not being evacuated. So we already used this technology. So this shows what we have done with the consortium from 2021 to 2025. We have conducted drone testing with the MLIT and support Ministry of Land Infrastructure, Tourism and Transport. So we created a 3D map. This is also supported by Ministry of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, MLIT. So with the central government support, we have tested these technologies. And in 2023, with the services from Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication, we conducted this project as well. So as I said before, we are a very small town in the rural areas, in remote areas. So it's important for us to collaborate with the private sector. And it's not just about the disaster risk reduction, but even in the normal time, we want to incorporate digital technologies into our normal time, not just for the time of disaster, meaning that we want to actually incorporate disaster risk reductions into our day-to-day lives. That is actually a major goal in this endeavor. So we cover about 350 types of services, which include healthcare, disaster risk reductions, and others. Therefore, we can't simply focus on disaster risk reduction, but we want to actually merge the LR initiative with other initiatives. Last year, I joined a forum organized by the World Forum. I mentioned 3 C's. First one is challenge, and change, and courage. So in order to protect the citizens of our small town, we would like to take on new challenges, collaborating with national government, prefecture government, and private sector, so that our citizens can enjoy their lives. Even our population is very small, but still I hope they can enjoy their life. And actually, I want to turn this being small to be something that make additional value. That's all. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Mayor Iwata, for sharing that really impressive presentation and the great work that Susami is doing. I think you really demonstrated how small towns can really lead in resilience and smart city innovation. I thought it was really important that you highlighted, the role of multi-sector partnerships as well as multi-level governance. And then also, I think it's really valuable, the concept that your city is putting forward in terms of incorporating DRR into daily life. So thank you very much for that great presentation. We now move on to our next speaker. And again, it is my honor to invite Honorable Mr. Linne, who is the Deputy Governor of Siem Reap Province in Cambodia, and he will share the great work that Siem Reap is doing around smart cities. Over to you, Governor.
His Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. My name is Linne, the Deputy Governor of Siem Reap City. This morning, I'd like to briefly present to you about our city and the implementation of our digital connectivity through Smart City Initiative. Just the introduction of our city, we are the center of the culture and tourism town, which is about 300 square kilometers province, and the population is approximately 1.2 million. A very small city and full of culture and heritage. In the area where you see the picture, there's around 1,000 other temples, and this is UNESCO heritage site. Back in 2018, when we joined the ASEAN network in Singapore, we highlight the interest of joining the Smart City network there, using the digital connectivity to boost our city digitally. So we raised up several issues that to promote the city as a tourist destination using smart technology and digital connectivity. Also, they increase the convenience of tourists related to service and facility. That also with our citizens and our foreign resident tourists who are visiting and living in Siem Reap. And also to boost satisfaction with local experience for tourists. This is all include local government service, digital service, tourist service, and other infrastructure. This is, I mentioned earlier that in 2018 in ASEAN Network Smart City, we joined the summit, and Siem Reap City was selected as the member of Smart City. This is our framework from 2018 to 2035. Our roadmap, we designed the roadmap and our infrastructure with the support from JICA, and now this year we also got the support from UN Habitat. This is our structure to implement the digital connectivity in the Smart City Initiative. So we, in Siem Reap City, we have the Smart City Committee that downward in the Smart City Secretariat. We do have the Smart City Consortium that consists of organization, academia, and as well as the private sectors. This is the Smart City Consortium member that we have. Down to your left is the company, private company, and on the right, 5 academic sectors and public sector. That include SRPA, Siem Reap Provincial Administration, JICA, GIZ, and now we have a UN Habitat. Just briefly, what we are doing in the city right now. In the project that we're implementing, we have 9 demonstration projects that we call pilot project to promote the smart city connectivity and the issue that we're facing in our province, mainly in the city center. So we now install the illegal parking monitor with the AI smart to tackle those vehicles that park on the pedestrian, and our authority will go and do the intervention. We do have around 200 cameras in the city right now, but implementation is only 4 as a pilot. This is the internal document tracking system that we are doing as a second project. In the old day, when citizens coming to get the service, normally they get the paperwork. Right now, we trying to reduce paperwork using this digital form. So document tracking able us, the administrative from the provincial level, to be able to track down where is document right now. Instead of the old style, we use paper base. We go from office to office and looking for where's the document and how is approved. Right now, if the document do not process within a certain period of time, let's say from the entrance to the approval level, if it's stuck somewhere, it will alert to our system for intervention. Let's say for 3-day approval, why the document is still in the office, it's not moving forward, and why is the cause of that? This is so we improve this greatly by improving our customer satisfaction. But from waiting for too long, now they be able to see real time where their document is. And here we implement just a few months ago regarding to the emergency button, where you implement in Japan. You see that very often in Siem Reap. Now we putting one emergency button. The objective is to provide assistance to citizen, international tourists, to helping in the public in emergency. So you press the button and you find the real-time communication from the police. We install this button, one in a very high touristic area in Siem Reap. And this is our waste collecting improvement. Because of the tourism city, we want to have the city more clean. So that's why it is important to see how the waste are collected timely and effectively. So we're using the technology to track down our trucks, to track down how the bin was collected from road to road, then also track down the company if the truck do not go to collect the rubbish on time. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, they have to do that. But when the truck do not go to that schedule, into the schedule, the system alert to us, the truck is not going. So what is happening? This is the smart another thing that we use, the digitalize the statistic from paper-based to computer-based. We do it in the tourism department, the Department of Tourism of Siem Reap, this one. And because of how we want to promote tourists in our area, in the city, we're trying to incorporate with private sector doing the project we call public-private tourism collaboration. We encourage private sectors to come to invest, promoting tourist experience using digital. So right now we have few companies doing this kind of initiative in Siem Reap province. This I mentioned to you about smart waste collecting and in transportation, of how we move from telephone call to digitalize using smartphone and GPS tracking on our truck, collecting truck. This is our last project we are doing at the moment. From CCTV camera in the high touristic area, we're trying to introduce the behavior, what we call street behavior system that alert us in a certain behavior, like if you holding a conflict, people holding weapon, things like that, and the accident on the road, it's alert to us. We testing now, it's not yet implementing, in the process of testing. We Siem Reap has the very low crime in all the city of Cambodia. However, we installed this to let the tourists and people that we are a more safe city and a safe zone as city. But for criming in the tourist area, we do not have it. Just to let you know of how the city has been transformed during the COVID and after COVID. During the COVID, 2019, as all other cities in the world, Siem Reap was hit by the great pandemic COVID. And at the time, we have almost zero tourists, no tourists there. Taking that opportunity, our government has built infrastructure of the road. You see the street from dirt road to concrete and paved road. We took that opportunity, about 100 kilometers in the city, converted from dirt road to paved and concrete road. And if you go to Siem Reap city right now, you would see all the road were paved. Most of the road were paved. And street camera, and also if we include the cycling lane and pedestrian, plus street light. That used to be very few before COVID. This is our new airport, new international airport that launched in October 2023. And this is the end of my presentation, the Angkor Wat Temple, the center of the World Heritage Site. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Governor Jung, for your presentation and for really illustrating how Siem Reap is leveraging digital innovation and connectivity to not only strengthen resilience, but also to improve urban services, to enhance tourism as well as safety in your city. I think the other important fact or aspect that you highlighted was also the importance of setting up the appropriate governance structures, so through your Smart City Committee, to ensure that there is that coordination and collaboration. And then again, I think in your presentation you highlighted the importance of multi-sector partnerships. So thank you very much for those insights and inputs. We now move to our next speaker, and it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mitsuhiro Yao, who is Counsellor for Global Strategies in the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transport and Tourism in Japan. Mr. Yao will share Japan's experience in aligning national disaster risk reduction frameworks and data systems to support resilient cities. Over to you, Mr. Yao.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I feel a little bit sorry that, Section 1 prevented you from enjoying Japanese snack and taste. I am Mitsuhiro Yao, Counsellor for Global Strategies at EMIRET. It is my great honor to speak at this session. Thank you very much for inviting me. Anyway, start the next slide, please. Okay. Today, I would like to share how Japan integrates data, infrastructure, and people to strengthen community preparedness, and how digital tools can help local governments act faster and recover smarter when disaster strikes. Around the world, disasters are becoming more frequent and intense. Typhoons, floods, earthquakes, etc. These challenges are magnified by climate change, rapid urbanization, and aging societies, I think. At the same time, need for preparedness and rapid response is getting larger and larger. And digital connectivity is transforming how we respond. Technology technology is now acting as a lifeline, connecting governments and citizens. Next, please. Japan, as you know, is one of the most disaster-prone countries on Earth. Between 1995 and 2004, Japan accounted for more than 20% of all global earthquakes over magnitude 6. This is surprising for you, I think. And more than 1,500 earthquakes occur in the country every year. So I don't hope, but you may experience earthquake during this workshop. Sorry. So the Noto Peninsula earthquake in January 2024 reminded us that even less active areas can face large-scale seismic risks. Japan also faces lots of issues, like aging population. As you can see, there are lots of aging people, Japanese people there. And there are lots of vulnerable communities consisting of lots of aging, old people. Sorry for that. And Japan also faces serious water-related disasters. Like, rainfall over 50 millimeters per hour happens frequently. That causes floods and landslides repeatedly. In Japan, as you can imagine, disaster risk is not an exception. It is a constant condition of life, always happens. That's why resilience must be built into everything we design and operate. Next, please. So, back into the Great Hanshin Awaji earthquake occurred in 1995. The earthquake hit my home region, Hyogo and Osaka, and took over more than 6,000 lives. It reveals how fragile modern cities can be. From that tragedy, Japan embraced the idea of build back better, rebuilding not only what was lost, but stronger and safer systems for the future. This concept later became a core principle of the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. Next, please. Sendai framework outlines 7 global targets to be achieved between 2050 and 2030. The 7 targets are listed below, such as global disaster mortality, number of affected people, number of countries with strategies against disaster risk, and so on. Next, please. The framework for DRR provides a roadmap for risk reduction, understanding risks, strengthening governance, investing in resilience, enhancing preparedness and build back better. It reminds us that resilience begins locally with cooperation and trust among all sectors of society. Next, please. Focusing on ISO 37179, I'm sorry, I'm not good at counting, I'm sorry. To translate those ideas into practice, Japan led the creation of ISO 37179, an international standard for smart community infrastructure for disaster resilience. It highlights inclusiveness, science-based planning, and robust systems that can adapt to unexpected events. The aim is to help every city, whether it is large or small, design digital and physical infrastructure that work together in a crisis. Next, please. Japan now integrates ICT and data into all stages of disaster management, from prevention to response and reconstruction recovery. Sensors, satellites, and AI allow us to visualize hazards, predict damage, and coordinate actions. Digital platforms also connect citizens directly with local governments, making communication more transparent and timely. Next, please. So I will provide some examples. First example is Nagaoka City. Nagaoka City is a very small city. It's an island area often affected by heavy snow and floods. There, NEC and the city developed an evacuation support system for elderly and disabled residents. Each resident's address and evacuation routes are digitally mapped and shared with disaster response teams. When a warning is issued, the system automatically sends alerts to registered caregivers and family members. Local officials can see in real time whether people have reached safe shelters or not. In one recent flood event, the system helped relocate vulnerable residents within 30 minutes. This is surprising. It's a very good result, faster and more organized than ever before. It shows how digital tools can make inclusive evacuation a reality. Next, please. Next example is a Susami town. Of course, you know, the mayor of the Susami town explained a lot, so I will just provide some additional points. Susami town is a very, small town, and you know, 3,000 to 700 people are living there. Under Japan's Plateau project, the town built a 3D digital twin combining building geometry, elevation data, and hazard maps, as the mayor explained. Officials use tablets during community drills to simulate floods and landslides, like showing residents how water levels would rise street by street by using digital tablets. When typhoons approach, the digital twin allows staff to visualize real-time inundation from rain gauges and sensors. Evacuation messages are then updated instantly and displayed on residents' smartphone maps. The platform is also linked with drone delivery system, which is used to transport food and medical supplies when roads are completely blocked by landslides. It is very convenient, actually. Standing in Susami's town hall, holding a tablet, you can literally watch the virtual flood rise on screen. You can experience the flood rise. Decide which road remains open. That's the power of digital resilience, I think. Next, please. Fujieda City is the next example. AI-based flood prediction. Dozens of river sensors send live data to an AI model that forecasts overflow risks several hours in advance. When risk levels rise, the system automatically generates warnings and evacuation recommendations. Next, please. The last one is our example, DMAPS, the Disaster Information Mapping and Analysis Platform System. This is developed by MRIT, our ministry. This system integrates data on earthquakes, floods, and infrastructure damages into a single interactive map. During the Noto Peninsula earthquake, the maps helped identify damaged bridges and roads within hours, allowing engineers to prioritize which routes to reopen first. This is very important. We are now expanding the maps by linking it with CCTV networks and semi-automated inspection systems, such as DGEST, so that information from field engineers, drones, and sensors flows into one unified national dashboard. Next, please. So, these cases remind us that data alone cannot save lives. It is cooperation that makes it work. And I think before using this kind of data and technologies, most important thing is humans should be very smart. That is my experience. And the next one, PPP is also a key factor to make the city resilience. Because if you want to make something resilient and sustainable, you need some sort of a finance. And PPP can attract a lot of private companies to invest some finance in the disaster prevention. And the third thing is if in localizing the SDGs, I think it is very important to be in cooperation with the UNCRD, APEC, ASEAN, or some sort of that kind of international agencies. Next, please. In closing, digital connectivity is not just about technology. It's about trust and inclusion. Japan will continue to learn and share, and together with all of you, we hope to build a safer and more resilient future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yao, for your presentation and sharing I think the really impressive work that Japan is doing. I think you effectively demonstrated how you are linking data, people, standards, and technology, and that how Japan is really doing this in a very integrated and actionable way, which I think is commendable. Additionally, I think you also, through your presentation, demonstrated how Japan is really translating global strategy, such as the Sendai framework, into to support national goals and really local strategies. And then overall, you also again highlighted the importance of partnerships, and in particular, people-public-private partnerships. So thank you very much for that inspiring presentation. We now move to our final speaker, and it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Son-Yu Young, who is the Director of Innovation and Growth City Strategy at the Growth City Strategy Division at IFEZ in Incheon, to provide your presentation on AI Smart City to foster AI-driven solutions. Over to you, Ms. Son.
Konnichiwa.
Hello, everyone.
Distinguished participants and ladies and gentlemen, nice to meet you. My name is Hye Young-son from Korea, IFEZ. On behalf of the Incheon Free Economic Zone Authority, I'm honored to welcome you today. We are here to share ideas and strengthen partnerships for building smarter and more sustainable cities. This journey requires dialogue and cooperation and a shared commitment. I hope today inspires new ideas and meaningful collaboration. Together, let us move forward to create smarter, greener, and more inclusive cities for future generations. Today, I'm proud to share how the IFEZ city model connects with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. By embracing these global goals, our vision is to make IFEZ not just a hub of innovation, but also a truly sustainable city. which offers solutions to communities facing the big challenges around the world. The IFEZ Urban Development Project has some unique features compared with other cities. In Incheon, a free economic zone was designated back in 2003. Here, new urban industries were planned and city services were provided to residents through smart city projects. Of course, many regions have been designated as free economic zones, and many smart city projects have been launched. But the reason IFEZ is seen as a successful case is because of two things. First, IFEZ designed new cities based on the industrial foundation of the free economic zone. And second, behind this industrial ecosystem, a high-quality residential environment was created through smart city projects, giving birth to an international city. Now, you can see the current landscape of IFEZ through these photos. I'd like to briefly introduce the Incheon Free Economic Zone, known as IFEZ. Designated as Korea's first free economic zone in 2003, it was developed as a strategic hub for Northeast Asia, covering a total area about 122 square kilometers. Today, IFEZ fosters global trade, logistics, biotech, and IT. And with its smart infrastructure, it supports sustainable growth, attracting international businesses and innovation-driven development. IFEZ is made up of 3 districts, Songdo, Yeongjong, and Cheongna. Songdo features a world-class bio-cluster, a global campus with leading universities, and startup support center, and a major logistics hub that includes the new port and the cruise terminal. Yeongjong is home to Incheon International Airport, the main gateway to Korea. We call Incheon City as always Incheon. It also hosts the large casino resorts and international convention facilities. Cheongna has been developed as a hub for robotics and finance. And it is home to the headquarters of major Korean financial institutions. Now, let me move on to a detailed case study of the IFEZ Smart City. We will look at 3 main questions: why, how, and what. So the first question is why? Why do we aim to build a smart city? Or put another way, why did IFEZ plan its smart city project? Smart city has changed the way we solved urban problems. In the past, traditional urban development projects relied on large-scale investment, long-term planning, and focused mainly on physical infrastructure and residential space. In contrast, smart cities aim for investment efficiency through a step-by-step strategy, making the right investment in the right place. They also shift the focus to data-driven services that directly address urban problems. In many existing cities, services were built and managed separately, with only weak integration. So when IFEZ started its Smart City project, we focused on 2 key ideas: integration of systems and connection with public institutions. As a result, services that once operated independently are now fully integrated through the Smart City system. Although Songdo, Yeongjong, and Cheongna are physically separated by more than 20 kilometers, they are connected as one network. Through system integration, all urban services are delivered on a unified structure. And through connection with public institutions, data is shared across agencies, including transport centers, police, and fire departments. So far, we have explained why IFEZ planned to its smart city project. Now, let's explore how we built it. The IFEZ Smart City Operations Center is built on a unified city database. Across the 3 districts, CCTVs, IoT devices, and sensors are all connected to the IFEZ network. This data is collected and then integrated with public institutions such as the Incheon Transport Center, forming the backbone of city operations. There are 3 core elements. Those are essential to smart city development. First, service. Second, platform. And third, infrastructure. These 3 elements are aligned with the smart city 5-layer approach, and they show how services and infrastructure are closely interconnected. The IFEZ Smart City platform is made up of 3 layers. First, the planning layer, which prioritizes city services. Second, the system layer, which uses city data to create platform-based services. And third, the service layer, which delivers those services directly to citizens. Now, within the system layer, the hardware platform is based on a private IFEZ cloud data center, and the software platform builds smart city applications on the private city database. Now, let's discuss what it means and what competitive strengths it offers. The vision of the IFEZ Smart City is to become a global leading smart city. After more than 20 years of trial and error, we hope that IFEZ can serve as a valuable reference model for new urban projects around the world. IFEZ strategy can be summed up as a 3S strategy: 1 space, 1 system, and 1 service. First, 1 space, the Smart City Operations Center. Second, 1 system, a hardware-based platform. And third, 1 service, a software-based service framework. Through this integrated approach, a simple but completed smart city was successfully built. The IFEZ Smart City was developed step by step through 3 phases. First, the construction of smart city infrastructure. Second, the implementation of smart city services. And third, the upgrading of existing services, along with the creation of new ones. The IFEZ Smart City provides integrated and inclusive services. In the beginning, public services such as transportation and crime prevention were the main focus. But now, we are expanding into private services using external data and spatial resources. Now, we will talk about the IFEZ city model. The catchphrase of IFEZ Urban Innovation Strategy is the next evolution of urban life, from smart to AI city. while smart city projects focused on improving citizen services and enhancing sustainability. The vision of the AI city goes even further. It integrates industries, services, and AI technologies at the city scale so that everyone can benefit. At CES 2025 in Las Vegas, Toyota presented its vision of Woven City as a model for the future smart city. By showcasing a city as a product at the world's largest tech expo, Toyota highlighted how cities can serve as testbeds for AI and advanced technologies. IFEZ also participates in CES every year, and we believe that collaborating with Toyota's Woven City could create strong synergies. Building on our 20 years of experience and our ongoing transition toward an AI city. So anybody here related to Woven City, please contact me. IFEZ has grown on the foundation of its free economic zone designation, and it has become a hub for the Northeast Asian economy, a hub for biotechnology, an international education hub, and a logistics hub through both the airport and seaport. Smart city projects have further expanded services in transportation safety, tourism, leisure, and healthcare, allowing IFEZ to develop into a truly self-sustaining city. Through smart cities, we have shown why the project was necessary, how it was built, and ultimately created a global reference model for urban development. Looking ahead, the transition toward an AI city will be powered by IFEZ City Operations Center, Data Center, and City Platform, the three pillars of the IFEZ City Model. The IFEZ City Model supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, by aligning the IFEZ Smart City with these global goals. We aim to move beyond a purely technology-driven approach and establish ourselves as a global, sustainable city that moves in step with the international community. With more than 20 years of urban development projects behind us, the IFEZ Smart City ecosystem now aspires to become a leading model that contributes to achieving the UN SDGs. The future cities you dream of already exist in IFEZ. And if you agree with the methodology of the K Smart City model, we hope to share and expand IFEZ's 20 years of experience and know-how together with participating cities around the world.
A huge dream that started with the ocean. Bridging the ocean to complete the foundation for a new city. The history of a new miracle has started. Step by step, we're making our way to the world. Finally, we're building a global business and developing an international city to take part in the larger world. Even now, we are working towards this goal. The global business frontier of IFEZ.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Son, for your presentation. And I think you very effectively showcased how IFEZ is building really integrated or taking a very integrated approach to smart city development, and how you're taking that even further through leveraging AI in a very responsible and effective way to support greater resilience and sustainability as well as economic development. So thank you very much. I think very impressive work as well. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of hearing from our speakers, and we would now like to open up to the audience and hear from you. So I think we have a couple of minutes, so we'd like to open up to the floor for 2 or 3 quick questions or reflections. Please try and keep your intervention brief, and so that we can hear from a couple of participants. Please also, when you ask your question or make your reflection, state your name and the organization that you are representing. So we'll open up now to about 2 or 3 questions from the audience.
Namaskar. My name is Rana Bahadurai from Nepal, Suryodaya Municipality, Ilam. The question for Tsutomu Iwata, Mayor. My municipality, the area is 252.52 square kilometers. The population is very less, 60,000 only. The forest occupied more than 45%. So technology, institutional capacity, human capital gaps remain in developing, least developed countries, and developed even and big and small countries. So I heard the mayor having the age of 77 years old, the population also same, small populations, area also 174.5 square kilometers, the 93% in forest. So the questions, very smart and energetic mayor. I am very happy to meet you and to know that there is also a municipality with a small population in Japan. I would like to talk with you about disaster risk reductions of your city. May I meet you sometimes to hear your thought and suggestion so that I can share them with the citizens of my own municipality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comment. I've lived for 77 years, and I've experienced a lot in the past 77 years. I often tell my staff that don't do anything you cannot do. Just start with what you can. You have to start with what you can do. Even if it's a small step, you have to change something. If you try to change, then people will gather, information will gather, and things will gather, money will gather. So please do find anything you can do with what you have now. That would be my proposal. People often ask me if there is anything in Susami town, in my town, and I say, no, there is nothing in my town. And if person insists, I would say, we do have vacant space and elderly people and vacant houses. But if you think smartly, you can effectively use those vacant land and vacant houses. And elderly people have experience and wisdom that younger people do not have. And that experience and wisdom can be utilized to town development, and that will stimulate younger generation. They often tell me a lot of things. Please come to my town. You have population of 60,000. For me, you have a very big city. Let's have a discussion and let's find out something. And one another thing I would like to say, if you change your perspective, this is my hand and this is also my hand, but what you can see is different. Depending on how you use your hand, the result will be different. So you have to have a different perspective. By changing your perspective, you can do things that you thought that you couldn't do. Let's work together. Thank you.
So thank you so much for the question, Mayor, and thank you so much for the response, Mayor Iwata. And I think that's a classic example of the importance of this forum in terms of really encouraging peer-to-peer learning and sharing of knowledge and experience across the regions. I really hope that the conversation continues between the two mayors. I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. Is there any other questions from the audience? I see a hand over there.
Hello, I'm Farzana. I am the Youth Advisor to Secretary General of United Nations. My question is to Mr. Linne and Ms. Son Hye-young. Both of you actually talked about AI system, one about AI smart city and another about how traffic is using AI. But at the same time, when we are talking about AI, what we are seeing that those data to train AI is actually public data, our day-to-day life data. So actually, when you are training those models, we don't know how our data, our public life is being used. So how are you planning, or like what's your strategy to actually talk about AI smart city or AI smart technology, and also to make sure that our data or our public life is safe? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the question. I think we'll start with Ms. Son.
Yes, thank you for asking. From 2003, IFEZ Incheon have developed about the smart city infrastructure, and at that time we use usually public data because the private information is very important, so we cannot use that. But nowadays it changed a bit, because we have to do more things for the citizens. So public, like the car number or other things, public data, not only public data, but also the private data is a little bit more and more used, we use nowadays. So we collect inside the low permitted, we collected the private data, and the services became detailed more and more, like AI-driven things like auto-driven cars or other citizen-centered services. So I'm not sure someday in the future we can use all the things with the private data. It's not actually possible, but maybe the things will gonna be changed. So our database is more detailed, from public data to a little bit to personal data. And then our city will become AI-driven city. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. The question that you just raised also are aware that during making the AI system, the AI digital in our city, we also aware of the privacy, social impact, socio-economic impact of the citizen. So the camera, for example, when we installed, there was a lot of question whether you face the camera to the public citizen, just the roadway, or the face recognition, and also the plate number of each vehicles. In this awareness, we formed a committee. This is a national policy committee where we put this into account and consider that private policy, a private matter is matter most for when we set up this kind of AI. And another sense, in Siem Reap City, we have 200 cameras right now, public on each corner of the road, as well as private camera where you set in front of the private sectors, municipalities, and also household. They do have their own private camera. That's a concern right now. So in the government policy from 2022 to 2035, we put that into our mandate that social impact, those kind of privacy for citizen has to be put into account. So every time we set the camera or every time we put up this kind of information, we need to consider this kind of consequence. So right now we filter all the camera we put, we filter only the house. Once you go into the house, you don't see it blurring. Things like that we put into account right now. Thank you very much. Thank you for your question.
Okay, so thank you for those questions and reflections as well as the responses. I think from what we've heard today, what really stands out strongly is how digital connectivity is really a core infrastructure that enables the use of digital technology and innovation to support resilience, inclusive, and sustainable development. Before we end, I'd like to highlight 3 key takeaways that really stand out, I think, from the discussion. The first one is around the importance of people-centered design. So really ensuring that digital infrastructure and innovation serves people, but also that it serves the enhancement of daily life and also in combination addresses emergency response. The second takeaway is around governance and scale, and really the importance of ensuring that local innovation is linked to national, also linked to national frameworks, so that we can, share lessons and accelerate impact. And I think the last one, and that came through as well from the audience, is around data and trust, and to ensure that we're utilizing data in a responsible way, and that we have shared standard and partnerships that build resilience and unlock investment. So that brings us to the end of our session. I'd really like to thank all our great speakers, as well as the participants for this rich discussion. And please join me in giving a final round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. And I hand over now back to the MC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sanjay, and all the speakers. So now we finished the session 1, and it's lunchtime.